Hello everyone. Am I live? Yeah, I'm live. So let me just check a bit. I'll get back to you guys because I need to see whether all my stuff are working okay. And I have to record this.
Recording in progress.
Right. I need to check some things. Wow, I already have people. Okay. Okay. Hello everyone. This is I would say the first time that I have made it into a position that I will come every Tuesday for you guys to help you through your journey, to give you research-based and experience-based knowledge that I have gleaned by working with my own clients, my children, on myself, on my friends and families and everyone. So let's just start with a little introduction because I have had new people come into the group who have not been here before. So hello, I'm Dr. Tasnova, mom of 3, and you will be hearing a little bit of my kids in the background because they are at home, they are a little sick, and that's life. That's life, because I have promised to you guys that I will come here to show up. So I did. Let life go on. Okay, so today's live as the first one that we're doing, we have 3 questions. I have already posted in the group that I will be tackling 3 questions of yours, and they are very, very important questions. Okay, they are pretty important because they will tell you a lot about what autism is, not just autism, what other developmental delays or neurological problems that our children comes across or struggles with, how they act, how they start, why they are like that and whatnot. Okay, so the first topic for today is brain development, timeline, and early intervention. So first things first, I have some notes in my laptop and in the side, so you guys will see me moving my eyes from here and there. I hope you will just excuse that because I'm just producing all of this myself for the first time. I'm learning. Okay, hi everyone. Hi Farhana Apu, Pooja Roy. Pooja, hi Apu. Thank you so much. Pooja is one of my clients ongoing, and she has had massive, like she really all struck us with all her progress and with her daughter. So much excited that you guys are here. So let's dive in with our brain development timeline and early intervention. Okay, so the first thing is, what is the timeline by which a child's brain develops? The first, there are actually 5 stages. The first stage is when the child is inside mother's womb, means from conception to delivery. This 9 or 10 month period is the first stage when the child's brain develops. Okay, and the second stage is from birth to 6 years old. Okay, birth to 6 years old. The third stage is from 7 years to 22. Fourth is from 23 to 65, and fifth is after 65. So a lot of the development actually occurs in the early years of your child. Okay, so the most important thing that after birth happens is your child's brain develops about 80% by the age of 3. Okay, so by the age of your child is 3, the brain already develops 80%, and by the time your child age is 5, the brain develops about 95%. So you understand, from the age of birth until the age of 5 is actually the most important period, because that's the time when the brain develops the most. Okay, so why is the brain development connected to the gut or health in general? I would really want to make it as clear as possible, which is why I keep bringing up this issue at once. So the thing that you need to understand is, what is the gut? Okay, the gut is actually from the mouth until the anus, like where the person poops, okay, the whole digestive tract is actually called gut. Specifically, some of us try to understand gut as the abdominal area whereby we have the intestine, we have the duodenum, the stomach, and etc. Okay, so why is the gut and brain connected, or how is it connected? So the gut is connected to the brain by two systems, the sympathetic system and the parasympathetic system. The sympathetic system is the one which gives the fight or flight, you know, like something happens to you and you like freeze or you want to run away. That's the sympathetic system. And it's also connected via the parasympathetic system. So a parasympathetic system is the one that tells the body to rest or to digest. Okay, so if your brain is in a stress mode, okay, so the brain will tell the gut that it's time to fight or flight. It's not time for you to rest and digest. Okay, similarly, if the brain is in a rest period, if the brain is, or emotionally the child or the person is in a calm position, that's when the brain tells the gut to digest the food. Okay, so the balance between this parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system does a few things. Okay, the first one is it speeds up digestion. So it either speeds up digestion or it slows the digestion, which means your brain tells the gut whether it should digest food or stop digesting food. The next one is absorption of nutrients. So whatever the child or you eat, the body needs to digest the food first and then absorb the nutrients. Okay, so the brain, if it's in a fight or flight mode, which happens when the child is in extreme stress due to the environment going on, the brain tells the child's gut to stop digesting, to stop absorbing nutrients. Okay, and we all know that nutrients are needed for our brain to develop properly. Okay, the third important part that the brain tells the gut is secretion of digestive juice. So the digestive juices or enzymes are important for the gut to digest the food. So if the brain is not telling the digestive system to produce the digestive juices, then what happens is the food is not digested properly. So if the food is not digested properly, there will be toxins, there will be constipation, there will be inflammatory disorders going on, and there will be a lot of other different things happening to the body. Okay, so our gut has its own nervous system. Tell me again, our gut has its own nervous system. Okay, so the gut part, the abdominal area part of our system itself has a nervous system of its own. Okay, so what does it do? And so this nervous system in the gut is connected to the immune cells. So what are immune cells? Immune cells are the ones that give your child's resistance to cold, resistance to flu, resistance to disease and problems and everything. Okay, so since we know that the gut has another nervous system which is connected to the immune system as well as to the brain, you see the importance of the brain and the gut connection now, because it's not just that your whatever you are eating is not digesting properly, you are also not assimilating properly, you're also not able to, your child is also not able to absorb the nutrients properly, and the immunity will also be very much reduced. And another important thing, the gut produces 80%, some research says 50%, so I would say like 50 to 80%. The gut produces 50 to 80% of a person's serotonin. So what is serotonin? Serotonin is the neurotransmitter which is very important for your child, for you also, which gives your the child's mood. Okay, serotonin dictates what the mood will be. If your child is grumpy, irritated, melts down, gets angry very fast, gets annoyed very fast, cannot sleep properly, all of those emotional aspects and mood actually depends. Thank you so much for all the loves that I'm getting. It's really helping me to feel inspired and whatnot. I'm really glad and thankful to have you guys here. Okay, so when we are not digesting the food properly, the gut is having a lots of different issues going on in our system. Okay, so the serotonin that I was saying about, so the gut, if imbalanced, cannot produce serotonin, cannot help with the immune system, cannot help with digestion, cannot help with absorbing the nutrients which are important for brain development. This is why the gut health is so much important for our children's brain development. Because when you give the child proper food, when the child absorbs the food properly, digests the food properly, and produces serotonin, produces its own digestive enzymes and everything, the whole system of the body works in tandem with each other. Okay, so since gut is connected to the brain, and 95% of the brain development happens between the age of 3 to 5, that's why early intervention of your child's neurological development is so much important. Do you understand? Okay, all right. So on top of that, I would like to share some of the research that I just this morning I have found from Harvard University. Okay, let me read it out to you guys. So different areas of the brain is responsible for different abilities. Okay, for example, movement, how your child walks, because some of our children cannot walk properly. They have like tiptoe, they walk on tiptoes. Okay, their language, emotions, and all other things actually develops by different parts of the brain. Okay, so this enables the child to move and speak in a more complex way. The early year of your child is the best opportunity that you can give your child for a healthy, capable, and successful future. Okay, so how does the brain connections are built? Brain connections are built from birth onwards by how they react with us, by how a mother reacts with the child, by how the environment reacts with the child. Okay, so the daily experiences, the experiences of the mom affects the experience of the child. The experience of the dad, the siblings affects the experience of the child as well. Okay, so not just the diet, the environment, the emotional and psychological health of everything around the child also affects the brain development. So for those of you who have questions or confusion regarding whether the diet is that much important or not, I would say diet is of course very important, very important, but only changing the diet will not give you the full spectrum of benefit or support that your child needs. Okay, it has to come through lifestyle, it has to come through how you raise your child, how you accept him, how you teach him, how you go through the daily life by life part of the thing also. Okay, so I have a question I would like to get it. It's from Maria. She's saying, is it good supplementing serotonin to my son? No, sweetheart. Okay, as a pharmacist, I would say supplementation is just supplement. Okay, the most important thing is for your child's body to produce the important nutrients on its own. Okay, and serotonin is not like calcium or magnesium or zinc that you can safely supplement. Okay, so the most important thing that you can do for your child is go through a phase of grain-free diet, go through some detoxification, give the gut healing that it will need to be able to produce serotonin, as well as make sure that the lifestyle is on par. And I would also say that just keep connecting with me. Every week I will come and talk about all of these topics, but one thing is most important is supplementing is good when the supplements is safe, and serotonin or any other neurotransmitters that the brain needs is not healthy. Sometimes doctors even prescribe melatonin. So melatonin is the neurotransmitter or hormone that is used by the brain to sleep, because there are lots of kids in the spectrum who cannot sleep properly. So the doctors prescribe melatonin, and melatonin as a supplement, it's okay for elder people like us using melatonin, but it's not okay for very young kids to use melatonin. Okay, I hope that answered your question. Okay, so let's get back, because I have to finish the whole spectrum of things that I'm here to talk about today. The second most important thing that I would like to say is why I work as an autism recovery coach, recovery, and why do I not accept my child or my client's child to be destined to be autistic. Okay, because when I started working, I did my research, I did my experience, I did my experiments, and I have gone through a lot of ups and downs by working through many clients and working through my children and whatnot. What I have seen is, if I can give 360-degree support, if I can make sure whatever the child needs to be able to grow properly, to be able to have their milestone reached properly, if I can supplement, if I can give, supplement means not from another source, but by making sure in a holistic, nourished kind of way, okay, that's when the child will have the most impact. Okay, why? Because just now in today's first segment, I have already established that the gut is connected to the brain, and the early intervention is so much important, because by the age of 3 to 5, your child's brain is developing at the speed of a rocket. So from 80% to 95% of your child's brain is developed by the age 5. So when you work with your child within this age, you give him a proper diet, you give him a proper detoxification, you give him proper safe supplementation to make sure that your child gets all the important nutrients necessary for daily activities and ongoing development. Okay, that's when you have the highest chance of reaching the goals, the milestones, or recovery that I use. Okay, by the word recovery, I do not mean curing. Okay, a lot of parents have this weird notion that maybe we are trying to change our child's. We are not. We are not trying to change our neurodiverse kid into becoming neurotypical, because that's not possible, and that's natural. It's natural for a neurodiverse kid to be neurodiverse. Okay, just like it's natural for me, born as a girl, to stay a girl, not become a boy. Okay, that's how much important it is. But does that mean I don't have struggles? I do have. So what do? I give myself all the support, all the tools, all the techniques that helps me accomplish my daily goals and move towards the success and goals that I have for myself. Do I make myself clear? By trying to help your child in a way that's different, because the medical system is not telling you, or your doctor is not telling you, your therapist is not telling you, does not mean these does not exist. Okay, we just have to have a more broad mindset, a more broad perspective on what can affect our child, what can help our child, and how we can give and provide all those benefits and supports that our child needs to go through and to be able to achieve those developmental goals. So I have had a few people DMing me sometimes that, about gut health and lifestyle and so many other things. But I would like to say that the cognitive skills, the way your child learns to communicate, learns to have language, learns to have mood, all of these things takes time, and one is connected to the other. It's not like you do something and then, like, let's say you are doing therapy, speech therapy, and then your child suddenly becomes occupationally able. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is healing the body, not just the gut, healing the body entitles and it works also on healing the brain. Okay, because as I have already said, even the Harvard research people are already saying that a child's development depends and starts when he or she is going through conception, when the child is in gestation, when you are pregnant with your child. That's when the brain development starts. So what you have gone through during your pregnancy whether you have gone through extreme emotional distress or not, whether you have gone through periods of low nutrients and periods of low nutrition by yourself or not, how was your gut flora? And there are so many other aspects that contributes to the child that we bring into the world. Okay, when I first wrote my a blog post about how mother's health during pregnancy affects a child, whether he or she might have autism or neurological disorder or not, I have had many people getting really angry. Okay, many mothers were very angry. They even brought their own friends into the circle, and they all kind of brush fired me, I would say. One thing is totally now research approved, is that how we go through our life, how our own health is during pregnancy affects our child. That does not mean you are guilty of making your child having autism. No, you are not guilty. It's not your fault. It's not your reason that's why that your child has autism. But the developmental condition affects your child. And you know what? After working with so many clients, I have seen that some of the clients actually says that they had a really normally developing kid, okay? But then after age 2 or 18 month or 16 month, after that, that 1 year mark, sometimes a lot of the kids show developmental delays. And why is that? That was an interesting thing that I came up with. So when I deep dive into it, and I found some research saying that by the age of 2, there is a growth spurt going on in your child's brain. So a growth spurt, as in, that's the high period when your child will have a brain development. So when your child is in a growth spurt for brain development, and there are conditions like stress, like nutrient deficiency, like gut disbalance, like so many other things that I have talked and I will be talking so much, those things affects your child development. Okay, so which is why I have seen a lot of clients coming to me saying that they have gone through some real life altering trauma when their child was 18 months or 2 years, and then right after that their child stopped talking. Right after that their child just internalized themselves and whatnot. So in my next live, I will talk about how, specifically giving some example of very rich research which will answer to those questions, how our children's brain development is affected by our emotional life, emotional and mental health and well-being. Okay, that's way. So the third thing that I would like to share today is the reality of diet and lifestyle in the development of your child. Okay, so if it's just me saying, then might be it just something that you are listening for the first time, but I'm sure I'm not the first person telling you that diet affects your child. But the thing is, a lot of our parents are misguided. They are telling they are being told by the doctors that, or medical support system and whatnot, that diet does not affect. I would like to stress this part because the doctors in course of their medical studies like MBBS and whatnot, they do not study nutrition as a part of the other systems in the body. Okay, they just study, their textbook just studies individual organs as part of a system, but it does not bring in the nutrition part into the effect of all the systems in that. Okay, yes, Maria, I will obviously talk about healing their gut in future lives, but this is a major part of what I do and what I teach, so I'll do it next time, inshallah. Okay, so as for today, just keep going with me, because today also you will learn a lot about why gut health is connected and how you can help that or not. So the gut health is not just gut health. So many times we keep on saying gut health, and maybe it has become like a tiring topic to you. Is it? Sometimes it is. It's also tiring to me to see when we are being fed by so many misconceptions, we are being fed by so many wrong informations, by the society, by everything else. Why? Because we live our life in a state of hypnosis. Okay? Let me repeat again. We live our life in a state of hypnosis, and this hypnosis is coming through all the bombardment of informations coming to our brain every single day. We watch televisions, we watch ads, we watch our leaders talking about things, we watch our doctors talking about things. So we are actually allowing all those information coming into our brain, and we are being hypnotized by all of these things. We rarely take time to do our own research. We rarely take time to not take information at its face value. Okay? I understand. Life is hectic. You are a mom. You might not be a mom of just one child. You might have multiple children like me. So I totally understand. Okay? But the most important thing is a little bit of sacrifice in the initial stage when your child's development is going through at a fast pace is the gift that you can give to your child, that will make sure his future is successful, that will make sure that his struggles are successful, is less. How do I understand that? Because I'm a neurodiverse myself. I have had ADHD, I still do. I have had learning disability, I have had memory issues, I could not make friends, I was the odd child, I was abused physically, mentally, and in all forms of ways possible for a Southeast Asian girl. You know, if you are from India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, or typical Asian, you will know what I'm talking about. So I have already seen what it takes to be a neurodiverse, trying to understand the world, trying to make my point of view go across, which usually doesn't happen because the neurotypicals will not want to understand your child's point of view. So it's actually easier for us to help our children, to empower our children, to give them wings so that they can fly, give them confidence so that they can speak up. And how can we do all those? We can do them, one, by brain development. We can do that by giving them the best emotional support. We can help them through giving them the best mental health and physical well-being. And all of those things can be done if our own mental health, our own physical, psychological, emotional health is on par. Because I keep telling this to my clients also, if your cup is empty, you cannot pour from that. And if your brain, your gestalt specifically, if it's so much filled with emotions, with rage, with anger, with frustration, you cannot actually think clearly and you cannot make decisions clearly. So for you to be able to, this is one of the points which is sorely missing by other protocols and by other things, and it's one of the reasons why I have a very high success rate, and I can, alhamdulillah, I am able to give results because I bring in this part of the mother's mental health, emotional well-being onto the table, which is sorely missed and overlooked by others. Okay, they compartmentalize everything, just like they learned in the medical system how to compartmentalize body. An eye doctor cannot talk about air, or a throat doctor cannot talk about the brain, right? So they have their own specialist who just have that single knowledge and does not study the whole body as a system, which is why there are so many lacks and limitations. And another important thing is what we study as a pharmacist or as a nurse or as a doctor. Our educational background is actually determined by the pharmaceutical giants in the world. They are the ones who dictate and define what we will study, because ultimately it's their need of us to stay stuck, of us to need supplements, of us to need medications, drugs to be able to help our child. So when you go to your doctor saying that your child is not sleeping, you are given a melatonin pill, but you are never told to use essential oils. You are never told to give him a massage after bath. You are never told to stay away from grain-free sugary food, because it's totally now established that sugary foods cause inflammation, and inflammation is not a good thing. Okay, even if you're not a scientist, even if you do not have any health science or science background, inflammation means something that's red, that's raw, that has heat coming out of it, and that is not a good thing. Okay, the word itself will bring inflammation in your brain. So when our child's brain has inflammation, the gut has inflammation, and since the gut is connected to the brain by two-way system, this inflammation keeps spreading like a wildfire. Okay, and through proper diet, proper lifestyle, proper support, and proper working on yourself, you are able to give them the best support that he or she needs to be able to do everything properly. Okay, listen to one thing. For those of us who are always told about everything about genes, genes provide the basic blueprint. Genes provide the basic blueprint, but the experience of a child shapes how the brain develops. Okay, so your child's blueprint is given by the gene, but how the gene will act depends on the environment. Dr. Bruce Lipton had been hollering to the world for the past 50 years. It's that when you take a gene, when you take a cell and you put stem cell, okay, when you take a stem cell and put in a petri dish which has all the nutrients for muscle cell, that stem cell will become muscle cell. If you take this same stem cell into a dish which has neuron cells and the nutrients needed for neuron cells, that cell will become neuron cells. The same cell, if you give it in nutrients that has, bone development and whatnot, that cell will turn into bones. Okay, and if you give carcinogens, if you give processed food and other stress, that cell will become cancer. That's the truth. So as you see, your child, a lot of us actually thinks that, oh, my child is having autism because of his gene. He's genetically autistic. It's not true. Your child is not genetically autistic. Your child has some difficulties, has some genes that is causing a little bit to move towards autism, towards autistic traits, but it's also the environment the child was growing inside of you, the child is growing outside of you, and what environment that you are giving. Because it's so much proven, and I will tell this in more details in the next live, on how the brain develops based on the environment. You will have more clear idea of what I'm talking about now. But as for today, autism is not just a genetic disorder. Nothing in this world, no disorder in this world is totally genetic in condition. Let's say me and my sister, we both come from my mother who has diabetes. Okay, but my sister was diagnosed with pre-diabetes. You know why? Because her lifestyle, the environment that she was after she got married and whatnot, and how she processed her emotions, how she handled her emotions, caused her to be predisposed to be diabetic. Okay, I am not. I have gave birth to 3 kids and I have gone through 2 very rough miscarriages. So after 5 live and dead births, I would say my journey dictates how my children's journey would be. My mother's journey dictated how my childhood was. My father's journey dictated how my childhood was. Okay, so we have so much that we can do for our child, so many things that we can actually help them with, if we can give ourselves the permission that your voice matters. If your gut instinct says that you can help your child, you can. You do not need to listen to people, because if your child is within the age of 5 and under, I would highly recommend you do some sort of diet and cleanse at home in a safe way, of course. You can also follow me and follow all the tips and tricks and stuff that I share with you guys, just to see if it works for you, because inshallah it will. And why won't it? We are what we eat. If we eat properly, if we sleep properly, if the thorns, the mines that are harming, that are causing barriers for our child's development is removed, why should he not be able to run? Why should she not be able to run properly? You understand what I'm saying? Okay, so Papia here is saying, also, can you talk about how we can introduce them to a new and different food? Oh yeah, sure. Picky eating is all about that. I will make notes on that. Maria, my son is 9. It's too late. Not really, sweetie. It's not too late. It's not too late, because today I have already said that there are brain development ages. So your child is in the 3rd stage, and you still can do a lot of difference. Okay, you still can make a lot of difference to his life. So the first thing you have to do is calm down, because now you are overstressed, and I did not plan to be it this way. Okay, it's not like that. What I meant is, if your child is under 5 or 7, it's easier to return back. For you, it might be a little difficult, but you can still help him to become the best version of himself. What I mean by the best version is, your child might not be 100%, but whatever he is, you can give him all the support for him to be able to run at his own pace. Okay, run at his own pace, find what he wants in his life and be successful in that. You can do all of those. And to be able to do that, the first thing you have to do is stay calm and try to learn to work on your own emotions. I will teach all of those. Actually, now that I have started doing lives, I think like there are so many things that I need to talk about. I need to share with you guys, that I wish I can have lives every single day, and then still I would have 365 things to talk about. Okay, so between today and the next time that I come, I want to give you guys a simple homework. Are you agreed to that? Because that will actually help you to prepare for the ongoing actions that we will take for our child. Okay, the first thing is, I would like you to do some journaling. Why it's hard for you to accept your child the way he is? Because when you say that, it does not mean you have to accept his struggles. Accepting your child is not same as accepting his struggles. Okay, accepting your child's neurodiversity will help him to feel Superman. Okay, to feel like a super child, so that he feels the motivation from inside, and it will also give you to also help you to go to the right direction. Okay, so I'm telling you to accept your child's neurodiversity, but do not accept your child's struggles. Because if you accept, just like a lot of our parents are told by the doctors, that there's like 50% chance he might be able to speak, there is a 30% chance he will be able to say I love you mom, or mom, call you by name and whatnot. I totally do not agree, because my son was told that 1 year ago, but after 1 year he's speaking, and many people say that it just happened to your son. It's not just happening to my son, it's happening worldwide. The thing is, there is not a community based on this specific topic, and I'm trying to build that here. I am trying to give you a community where we are all like-minded. We love our child, we want to support them, we accept them with all their shortcomings, but we do not accept that there is nothing for us to do. Maria, don't accept that there is nothing for you to do. There are so many things for you to do, starting right today. Okay, so the first thing you do is do some journaling, and then find out what are my goals, what are the barriers to the goals, and how I can reach those goals. Okay, let me repeat again. What are my goals for my child? What are the barriers for those goals? And how I can reach those goals. Okay, so do this journaling, and then stay tuned or sign up. I am going to publish a 5-part series on what I teach. It's the 5 pillars method that I teach to my clients and I use for my children, because that series will actually give you a lot more tidbits, small information for you to be able to understand what I'm trying to tell you at your own pace, at your own time. And then with time, we will build a lifestyle, we will build a diet for our children so that they are able to be their best version of themselves. Okay, that's what we are all about. So Autism Success Academy, previously known as the Neurodiverse Nerd, is actually a place for you to be, to achieve transformational life, transformational recovery and success for your child and you. Okay, because my own struggle taught me so much that my health, my emotional journey was actually dictating how I can show up for my child, how I can show up as a mother for my son. Okay, if I was happy, if I was content, if I was able to navigate through motherhood, then I was able to help him to the best of my abilities. So when I was going through my suicidal phase, I did not love my children. I just really wanted to leave them at home and run. Okay, so my mental health challenges, raising them, being a neurodiverse myself, have actually taught me the most important thing of all, which is our health, your as a mother, your health, your emotional health, your mental health, your psychological health. All of those things contribute to your child's development, because when you are able, when you are clear, and when you're focused, that's when you will find solutions. The solution might be knocking you at the door now, but you will not see it. Why? Because your brain is busy processing the emotions, processing the stress, processing the guilt, shame, and so many other emotions that we feel being a mother of a neurodiverse, right? So if our brain is so much ready and bogged down and busy with processing our own emotions, we cannot show up as our full being to be able to support our children that well. Okay, so with that, we are actually at the end of the live. It's a 45 minutes. I want to keep this in a way as a short but sweet way, so that you can come and you can learn some important things and you can implement those in your own life. Okay, so after this live, I'm going to post the important lessons that I have taught today, and I will also be telling you guys how you can do some journaling, how you can start changing the diet and lifestyle. But for that, you need to stay with us, you need to be an engaged member, you need to ask questions. I always am ready with my phone in my hand, so just post your questions and I'll be very, very happy to help you. Okay, because I believe my journey, my life did not happen by mistake. It's a calling, and my calling is to help you and your child be the best version of themselves. Okay, with that being said, thank you so much for you guys. Really, I am really, really thankful for you guys to be here, for giving me the inspiration to go through. And in the next live, I will talk more about brain development and
recording stopped.
Recovery. Okay, see you next time. Thank you, Papia, Maria, and so many others that you have, the points have gone up. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Take care.